All right, so we're going to do a quick sculpt, a big hulking sculpt from imagination. All right, we're going to start from Z-spheres and we're going to go from imagination. And this is about the level of detail you want to be able to do from imagination. I can actually go more detailed than this, but this is about as much as you want to bring it, because from here you can actually pose him and then you have to do asymmetrical sculpting. So how do we do that then? Let's go ahead and get started. So I did this for my He-Man, by the way, and let's go ahead and show you that. I actually posed my He-Man with Z-spheres. Then I actually sculpted him asymmetrically to get him to about the level you just saw. And then I looked at some references to add all these final details to him. Right, so to get started, we'll go to Lightbox here, and then we're going to open up. This guy is not the best, but we'll use him, I guess. I don't want to make my own, so it just make it that much longer of a video. But they're really not that hard to make with Z-spheres. So this is kind of a, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of someone from like BioShock or something character. One, I don't want these back that far, so let's go ahead and edit those, and let's go to Move. And we can kind of move these forward a little bit, and then move these ones forward, and that one just a little bit like that. That way they're not so far back. Oops, I gotta have that up just a little bit like that. Cool, that kind of works. And then another change I want to do is I want to make the legs longer. So actually, I think there's a way. How do you do that again? You hold down. Well, one way you can do it is you just make a brush bigger so it covers all of this stuff down here you want to be moving. Like this. It's not quite. Oh, there we go. I was saying it wasn't quite working right. Let me go and undo that. So we get back to here. Grab this toe part and go like that with the bigger brush. And let's give him pretty long legs like this. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to grab the head, which I don't know if this is really supposed to be a head or not, but actually I'm going to make that bulky. I'm going to make this a little bit. Let's turn this back to 1. I want to make this a little bit smaller like that, and then these a little bit smaller as well. Then let's take these and move them down here like that. Let's scale these up a little bit. I'm going to scale these down, move them up. They're supposed to be acting like the calves, basically, so it's more like that. I think that's good. And then I want to take the head here and let's scale this down, and then we're going to move it up. Actually, we're going to leave it right about where it is. So there's our 2 of them here. This one, we want to scale this one down just a little bit. Like that, so we can get a nice neck here. We can add the traps ourselves. Then I'm going to draw one more in the middle here like that, and we're going to scale this out a little bit and move it up to right about there. And then let's scale it to right about there. Then I might rotate it. To rotate it, we just grab this rotate. And I don't think we can just rotate like that. We have to rotate right here like that. I might just lift it up just a little bit more, give him a little bit more. That'd be part of his neck and head there. That's usually a pretty good shape to start with, something like that. Now he's not going to be, this isn't going to be as big as the Hulk character we got, but we can actually change that, or you can change it here. But I think it's easier to change it after we add the skin. Let's go to adaptive skin. Let's just go to preview this, and I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and make adaptive skin. That gives us a layer to work with now. There we go. So now we can actually sculpt right on top of this. Make my brush bigger here. So what I like to do is take my damp standard, make it kind of big, and just kind of pull right in here like that. Just want to make sure we have a nice separation here. I don't want that to not be separated. Cool. And then before we get sculpting, one thing to know is the crotch is like about here, and in the back, the butt is going to extend down farther than the crotch, but also you have this kind of slight angle. Go ahead and smooth that out again. There we go. You have a slight angle to the hip. So I'm going to go and pull this in a little bit. Make sure you have symmetry on, and that should be on by default. If not, hit X on the keyboard. I'm going to pull this out bigger like that. Just kind of getting the main shape that I want here first, kind of start to build that up. So there should be a slight angle with the lowest part of the crotch here. This will be like the crotch. I'm using clay tubes. I actually prefer them for a lot of it. And then this is it's gonna go up at an angle like, it's gonna go up at an angle like that. So the back is gonna be higher than the front. See that angle? Comes up at an angle. Make sure that's there. The butt is technically lower in the back, but you want that like that first. I'm gonna kind of push this in. There we go. Might have a little bit of a belly protruding maybe. Let's kind of pull this in a little bit as well, the rib cage. I'm going to take my thing and shave it at an angle like that. That starts to work. And then we need to take this top part here. We need to pull shit back like this, smooth it. At this stage, we're not trying to do anatomy yet. We're just trying to get the bulky shape working for us. Then we got to make him not be a hunchback. So let's pull all this back like that. Smooth it out with our big brush. And that's working pretty good. We're going to flatten the top of the head a little bit, pull that part back, pull this front forward, pull it down, pull it up. Well, I have to change my size, I think, to do that. Pull that back just a little bit. Make this a little bit smaller. We can start pulling our neck in like that. Pull it back. So the way that this works, so what we need to do is before I keep going, we need to sculpt this way. So hold down the Alt key and kind of sculpt in here like this, because we want to be able to add the anatomy correctly. And remember, the trapezius goes like this. And let's say this is the collarbone like that. Well, it kind of goes sideways and it kind of goes back and then side again, kind of like a bicycle handlebar like that. It attaches all the way around to the front part of this part of the collarbone like this. That's how the trapezius works. Right? And then it kind of goes back like that up into the neck part here. Then it goes down, comes across. So then this part's going to dig in like that. Then we can bring from the side view of the head, the ears are going to be, so this is the side of the head, right? That's the dividing line down the center. I can maybe use this tool. That's the dividing line down the center. The ears are sitting on the back side of that, just so you know. Let's kind of curve some of that away right there, because we want to make the jaw, we're actually going to carve out using the Alt key to carve it out. And that starts giving us our jaw. I'll add just a little bit there like that. I'm not worried about the ear right now. I'm just carving out the shape a little bit here so I can start getting that jaw. Okay, now go back to the move tool again, make it bigger. Gotta smash it down. So from the front view, and actually I'm gonna carve a lot of this right here too. There we go. So from the front view, it's like an egg. It's a little bit wider at the top and gets narrower as it comes down. I didn't want to move that though. Let's kind of pull that back again. Pull this out a little bit like that so you can start to see the neck. I'm going to kind of get rid of some of that. All right, cool. So right now I'm just going for the shape to make sure the shape's right. Let's go ahead and bring this forward a little bit. So from the side view, it's a little bit wider from the side view than it is from the front view. And I want to kind of carve in right here a little bit, kind of round that back of the head out. Okay. The sternocleidomastoid goes like that behind the ears. I'm going to go ahead and remesh this. So let's go to geometry and then Dynamesh, turn that on. I like working at about 160 or so at this stage, maybe even like 200, 180, 160 is fine. Then in the hold down control key and then draw a little square outside and that meshes it as long as that button's on. It's glowing orange. Okay. Going back and forth between my clay strips and damp standard, just kind of add some of that detail and then shift to smooth it. Just want to make sure I have all these shapes in here working well. This is going to be the jaw versus the neck bulge there. I'm going to kind of get rid of some of that though. Pull the chin out a little bit more. Cool. And then from the top view, oh, that's kind of a weird lighting. What's up with that? I don't know how that lighting got like that. That's not the lighting that's usually in this, is it? Now I'm going to change this to this. The widest part's like right about here, and it kind of, and then the front part here where the forehead is going to kind of tilt in a little bit more. Something about like that. This should go back a little bit more. It should be almost straight at this point. Those jaws are sticking out quite a bit, so I can just shave off some of that with holding down the Alt key. I think that's pretty close. I'm going to add a little bit down here like this. Let's smooth it out. I think I might want to pull that. Cool. So something about like this works pretty good. You can still see it looks kind of funky because, you know, that is like a real character. So what I'm going to do is take my damp standard, make it a lot bigger like that. And we're going to cut in here like this, really pull this up. Smooth it. Smooth it. I'm going to take my move tool. I'm going to kind of move the shoulders up and the arms up a little bit like that. Pull the shoulders out a little bit, smooth it. We just want to get the basic, the basic shapes here. Damp standard, I'm going to make a, try to stay in the center here. There we go. I also need to pull up right here. I need to make a separation between where his back is going to be and the arms are. Like that, and we can start sculpting a little bit right here where we want the lats to go. Then I need to make the damp standard, just got to keep cutting more in here. Like that. Cut away then I'm going to come in here with you can either use I like using the clay tubes. I'm just kind of carving away using the Alt key. I'm going to there we go, remesh. There we go. So it takes a little bit of work to kind of get that particular one going for you. It's a little bit funky, but I think if you, I don't know why Zbrush is weird, the camera, I don't know why it does that. I have to constantly recenter it. Using the big, that's a little too much. Using the big damp standard brush helps a lot when you're trying to get certain kinds of details like that. I want to kind of just bring back this basic shape right here where I'm going to want that collarbone to be. So I know that the muscles are going to be coming right here. That's where my trapezius is going to be. I might actually go a little bit more detailed. I'll bring this down. Make this dividing line. Kind of cut across where I know how far down I want my pecs. So at this stage, you could kind of just do some basic drawing, and I can already tell this needs to be way wider. You know what I might have to do is I might have to, this isn't quite right. I might have to bloat it out before I add any details here. Just trying to think how skinny I want to go and how big I want to go here. So maybe like wider in the back. We could go full on character like Hellboy right there. So it's kind of reminding me of. Let's keep this big for right now. Add some big bulky shapes right here for the triceps. And kind of bring out this forward like that. I'm going to have to really bulk up the inside there as well for the inside parts of the triceps. They're going to kind of push in. Kind of I want to show where, there we go. And then let's cut away this. Cut away all this right here as well. That's the rib cage is kind of coming around. Let's kind of add, click on the head to center it again. I want to, well, actually I'm going to, oops. I hit the wrong button. Let's kind of cut in right here. And then cut here as well. Cool, now I'm going to kind of come out right here. I want to add in this coastal ridge. I like adding this. And then it kind of comes up and around. That's all going to be rib. So I need to scrape away all this. So this is like the rib cage. This needs to all come around like that. Cool. Scrape away in here more. Because it comes like a sphere, and that's not quite how it is, you know. So you got to kind of, I'm taking clay away right now. Okay, cool. I'm going to kind of show where that's going to be. Damp standard, kind of push this in and up, kind of start carving in where I want that to be. And then I'm going to take this clay tubes, hold Alt, and pull all that away right there. There we go. So that way the delts are sticking out. Yeah, see the delts are sticking, not deltoids, I meant the lats are sticking out. And yeah, so. And so we can easily turn this into a Hulk character. We can turn this into like a kind of, this looks kind of like a doofy character. So it's all different kind of characters we can turn this into by starting from that mesh. And I already noticed, even though I made the legs longer, I can already tell they're still not long enough. So let's make this really big, pull the feet down, this down, leg down. Just kind of stretch all this down a little bit like that. I'm thinking that works pretty good. Let's come here. I'm going to pull out the chest a little bit here like that. That heroic. Pull the pec muscles out this way and the deltoids out. Pull the deltoids down, they're not big enough. And then I'm just going to kind of bulk up where the pecs are going to be. Just kind of lay down some clay, the clay tubes like that. Going to pull it out, pull it a little bit out there again. And we'll start adding the anatomy to it after we bulk it up. And this all takes, you know, knowing the anatomy, like everything, all the decisions I'm making right now it's all based on knowing where all the muscles should be. It's based on knowing the anatomy. By knowing the anatomy, I know how the shapes of all this is supposed to be. And so that's how I can start. Man, I don't know why ZBrush does that. Like that, why? Like it doesn't want to spin around its center. It's like constantly changing it. It's got to be a setting I can change for that. Now back here, I want to start thinking a little bit about anatomy. So I'm going to, for the trapezius, let's come down like this, come across over like that, right? Kind of makes this kind of shape like this. But I want to think about right here, I have his, like that scapula, and then it's going to come down like this. And it comes around back there. We can't see it, but I want to know that I have that right there. So that part of the scapula, and then I have this collarbone coming across here, comes up like that, and then it comes like this. So this, and the reason why I need that there is so I know how the muscles are going to attach. Look how wonky that gets. So fast. It just starts getting so wonky so quickly. And so remember the trapezius attaches to this front part of the collarbone. So all right here is this front part of the collarbone. The trapezius attaches to all of that. Boom. So I want to build up all this. Comes across like that. That's all the trapezius muscle. So it attaches across the scapula, and then it comes over the scapula and down this way. Attaches to the back. If you want to learn all the anatomy, I recommend getting my anatomy course. Boom. I'm going to kind of, I just want to kind of define some of this. Right, boom, like that. Kind of goes in. This comes forward. These are the sternocleidomastoid muscles. They're going to come forward like that. We want to dig in right here. Kind of smooth it out. And then the deltoid attaches. So the deltoid attaches from this. Let's go like this. Collarbone goes like that. Kind of goes back and back over there. So it attaches to this first half of the collarbone. And wraps all the way around, attaching to the collarbone, and then starts attaching to the scapula back here, like that. And there's like 3 heads. Those are the 2 heads, and then you have this big middle head right here. Boom, like that. So if we show that with the damp standard, we can kind of cut across here, kind of show like that. And you just want to start rough, at first. I guess you don't have to start rough, but I like to just pay attention to the forms. And so this isn't so much of a Hulk character. I can easily bulk them up more. So that's something you might want to think about. Like, hey, do I want to turn this into a Hulk character? You might want to use, this is what I did last time. I actually sculpted way more than before I did this, but where's it at? The magnify. I just got rid of it. Magnify, make it big, and you can start magnifying all of this. And then boom, now you got more of a Hulk-like character. You can also make his head even smaller by holding down Alt key. Nope, actually that doesn't work at all. We can select it though. We can always lasso select his head, and then we can scale it down that way. But actually, I think I'm just debating if I want to make all of this like bigger even. We definitely don't want it big that way. So cool. So let's go ahead and start modifying some of this now. I'm going to push back on there, push back all this. Actually, you know what? I don't know if I like how that tool did that. There's so much work I have to do. Again, I have to redo all that work again. So I don't like that at all. Let's go back. Okay, so I didn't want to have to rework all that again. So yeah, that's fine. Just reminding me that all that, I'm not going to be able to go back forward again. That's fine. Don't need all that information. I definitely want to kind of keep that. I want to keep this. I like it coming up at an angle like that. I like getting that shape down first, and then I think about how the anatomy goes on it. So you have it go. Remember, this tucks underneath the deltoid and into. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. Kind of lost my train of thought. I want to make sure I get this bicep coming down like this, because it goes. Remember, it goes in here and tucks up like that, and it wraps up under the or up and around the ball of the humerus bone, like that. And then I think the arms are a little bit short actually. So let's make them bigger. Let's kind of pull the hand out like this. And then that way I can pull all of that longer as well. That's much better. So then you have the, actually, you know what I'm going to do is before we go any further, I want a little bit more detail, I think. So it's come along good. We're at 26 minutes. So let's go ahead and remesh at a higher detail. I'm going to go to about 270. I think I can I type a number in there? Let me see. I'm going to type like 240. The die mesh is on, so just hold down the control key and then draw a little square and bam, remeshes it. All right, let's take the move tool and smaller before I can start to define this right here. This is going to be where his tricep is. Goes up like that. See it just by defining where the lat was and then where this arm goes up and tucks in, that's already defining the tricep, which comes out like this. And then the bicep goes inside here, wraps up and over the ball of the humerus. The pectoral comes underneath and it attaches to the humerus bone, to the upper quadrant of it. I need to shave some of this away. Oops, wrong brush. Like that. And then I want to start building it like this so it's more rounded here. I don't want it to be too not rounded. Then you have three pieces. So one piece comes across right here, attaches to this half of the scapula, and it comes across like that. Boom. And that kind of tucks underneath there. I want to kind of get rid of some of that. I kind of want to bulk up this deltoid right here as well. The side comes down like that, comes in front of. And remember that it kind of comes more forward here, like this, and it inserts into the bone. And then you have behind, so it inserts right here and it connects to the bicep. From this view, think of it that way. And then you have right here the brachialis, like that. Boom, it's behind. So it's behind the deltoid. That's important to know. It's easy to mess that up. And then right connected to that, you have your ridge muscles. You have the brachioradialis and the ridge muscles here, and they go to the thumb side. So they're kind of coming right here to the thumb. And you usually just see part of it. So I want to kind of bulk it up a little bit, but I just want it to kind of point toward the thumb. Then you have the other muscles right here that come to the front of the hand. And then one that goes over that way. But typically you only see this line right here separating from that muscle. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. And I want to cut in here. Remember, the bicep goes from, when it's open arm like this, pretty much for the bicep to be flexed as a ball, it has to be, the arm has to be at pretty much a 90-degree angle. And I still want to carve more out here for the armpit, like that. Cool. I don't want the tricep to be that big. But anyway, the bicep is going to be a lot more narrow like this. It's not going to be like a round ball. The arm has to be at a pretty much a 90-degree angle for that to happen, but I do want to add a little bit of bulkiness down here. And remember, the biceps are then coming, we'll see a little bit of the craccobrachialis right here. And then we'll see the triceps starting to build up right here. And then you'll see some of the brachialis right there sometimes. And sometimes the craccobrachialis and brachialis kind of just look like one thing like that. And so the bicep attaches to the radius, which is on the thumb side. So that's why I'm attaching to the thumb side right here. This is the thumb. And then this muscle here, the brachialis, actually kind of build up a little bit there. There we go. It goes underneath the bicep and attaches to the ulna, which makes up your elbow. And that's going to be right back here. Ulna, that's the elbow. That's the part of the ulna bone, believe it or not. It's not part of your humerus bone. That's not what makes up your elbow. The ulna does. Kind of pull this forward. I want to make sure this is like more like that. And let's go ahead and kind of shave that. I also want to shave all this top right here, at least the wrist. Kind of make it more squared out like that. And then I want to kind of square this right here a little bit as well. Then we can use the polish brush and kind of square it like that. Flatten it here, flatten it there, just kind of start to flatten it like that. And then I'm going to kind of start to bulk out all this right here, this underside. Bulk this up more like that. Sometimes just to get the silhouette, I like to just use the move brush. Might even be able to just do that sometimes. Instead of blending it, try to just instead of trying to smooth, rather just Dynamesh. And then it kind of comes like that. And I might, let's see, I might actually scrape some of this away. So you have that muscle, then you have the one that comes across like this middle section right here, like that. Then you have that bottom section. And sometimes it helps to kind of do that. And then you have this bottom section right here. So I'm kind of liking the pecs now. That looks pretty cool. I don't know if I want them higher than that or not yet. If so, I can always bulk them out. So I can always just, come across this whole shape. And I can also take my move tool. I can push them back up here like that. And then I can move them out here a little bit. I like that center part like that. And then I like them having this V shape right there. It just looks cool, I think. Come up right here. Create that armpit part. Oops, I made a mask on accident. Make sure, check the mask. I can go to clear because I think I have a mask there still. Sometimes you can't see it, but it's there. I'm building clay up right there to kind of smooth that out. And sometimes I'll go like this and I'll take the clay away at an angle and then smooth it out. And damp standard again. Kind of redefine that shape right there. And sometimes I like to just come right down the center, the damp standard, just to, oops, that's not damp standard. Like that. Cool. So the anatomy is starting to work out well. And this is stuff, I'm just doing this from my imagination, and it's so fun. Like, I wish I can express how fun it is because, and for drawing too, I fell out of love with drawing for so many years. And I love sculpting now too. Sculpting is so fun. So if you like drawing, or if you kind of feel like sometimes you're falling out of love with drawing, man, try sculpting. This creates this under shape right here. See that shape right there? I'm trying to create this under shape, and then it goes kind of flat right here like this. At least it's more flat. Quite almost like a horseshoe, like this kind of horseshoe shape right there. And then it comes up right here, and that starts like that. and it comes like this. So that's the long head. There's another head too that's hidden, but we're not going to get into that one. I do that in my anatomy class, so we're just going by what we can see. And then this is the short head, and it wraps over like this. That's what creates that shape. I'm going to kind of use my move tool to kind of get this shape out right here like that, and then kind of push this in a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to make sure these wrap together as one form because it's rare that you can see the delineation. Make sure I have my elbow still there, and it comes up right here with the ligament. Not ligament, the tendon. And then you can usually see right on this side, I'm going to use the damp standard to show this, you can usually see the tricep cuts in like this, and it usually has a thin like that. This is the short head, and it has a little thinness right there. I might have to leave it like that for now. And then we have this nice bulkiness. And I'm going to zoom in, make my brush smaller, clay tubes here, and add a couple clay tubes right there like that. Boom, okay. But anyway, let me go back to what I was saying. So this is wrong. I'm going to bring this up more. Sometimes you have to just kind of look at your model for a little bit and go, what did I do wrong? And it's usually not too hard to figure out. I still need to bulk this up though, because there we go. It kind of gets thicker here like that. But knowing where the muscles go helps tremendously. That's kind of, there we go. Sorry, I'm kind of getting lost on what I'm doing. So what I was going to say is that for a long time, I lost, this all bulks up under here. I lost my passion for drawing because I only knew how to draw from reference, right? I couldn't draw my own characters. I couldn't design my own characters. Like I wasn't able to make up my own characters. And I was just like, I would watch this one guy. I was homeless, living under a bridge, and so was he. Man, that'd be so cool if you actually watched the video. I haven't seen him in so long, but he like did these cool comic characters, and he would just like sketch in his sketchbook. And I knew he wasn't looking at anything because I'm watching him do the whole thing. And I'm like, dude, how are you doing that, man? Like he's just drawing it from his mind. Like he's not looking at anything. He's like just coming up with this cool idea. And I'm like, how did you learn to do that, you know? And he goes, I don't know. I just do it, I think is what he said. But that's not true. Right? You have to learn anatomy. That's the main key. But anyway, so that's that. Like for a long time, that inspired me. I just thought I would never get there, you know. Like I always wanted to get there, but I'm like, man, I'm never gonna get there though. Like that's just so. It just seemed like an impossible thing, and here I am now doing it. So just because it seems impossible, like don't feel like you can't do it. Like don't give up on it, is what I'm saying. It's definitely possible. You got to learn anatomy. And that was the key. When I learned anatomy, it was like, oh yeah, you know, I start learning proportions and all that. Then I was able to start doing a lot of this stuff from my imagination, and that paid off big time. Then I was like, so anyway, for the longest time, I really just kind of grew out of love with art, with drawing and stuff, because I was only able to draw what I see. So I got really good at that, and I was like doing some tattoos and stuff and tattoo design. And okay, that's all wrong. I gotta fix this. Go. Anyway, so I want that muscle right there and that one. I usually can see a line between those muscles right there. I teach what all that is in my anatomy course. So either my anatomy 2.0 or the anatomy course by the time this video's out, or by the time you watch this video, I might have already had my other anatomy course out, which is going to be anatomy for sculpting, so 3D anatomy. Oops, I meant to use this brush here. Come all the way down like that with that one. And so I was able to, like, when I started doing tattoos, it was fine because like people just want what's already there in the book or whatever, and then like sometimes I would design tattoos, but I had to look at stuff, and don't feel like, references is bad. It's not, I'm not saying references are bad. References are good, but it's so good to be able to draw from your imagination. And And that really helps you with designing and coming up with ideas and cool designs, and then you can use reference to flesh it out. But to come up with it, really you need to be able to draw from your mind. And so it wasn't such a big deal at first because I'm like, cool, I can do these tattoos, and that's like what people want. And for a while I was a tattoo artist, and I can draw good, but I had to always look at something. I couldn't come up with my own thing. And so if I came up with my own thing, it was just like a mixture of things that already existed. I'd have to go look at some things that already existed and mix them together. And then that's how I came up with this, like, what seemed like a new or fresh design, but really it wasn't all that fresh or new because it was just a mixture of things that already existed. That's kind of wrong. This should be more here, and this should kind of come like this, like that. That should be the core brachialis right there. And then this should be actually part of the tricep like that. The coracobrachialis. It kind of comes and it kind of just inserts right into the middle. Like just think about it just going right here into the middle of the body. It's not exactly where it goes, but it's an easy way to think about it. If you want to know exactly where it goes, oh man, wrong brush. I teach it in my anatomy courses. But yeah, so once I started learning anatomy and the proportions of the human body and stuff, and then you start learning other things too. Like then you start learning basic shapes and the fundamentals of everything. But by learning anatomy, it really helps you start designing characters, and that's what I wanted to do most of anything, because I wanted to design my own comic characters. And so I was able to start doing that. And then I started doing my own comic book and stuff, and it was like awesome. It felt so good to do all that. So remember, this is all coming. It kind of goes like, so we have the boom like that. That's like the line, right? It's all attaching to that part of the scapula, and then the scapula is kind of coming down like this, and then going up like that inside of there, right? Well, the trapezius muscle, it really builds up a lot right here, and there's a little like thing like this. But anyway, when it starts to build up right here, it builds up kind of big right here, and that's where it's attaching to the scapula. And it kind of, from then this part right here kind of rolls over the scapula. This is all attaching to the spine basically. And then you're going to have this muscle right here. You can kind of see usually. Oops, wrong brush. Like this. I like to kind of show where this is going to be, like show the difference between the tricep and the deltoid right there. And then what's going to happen, I got to turn this up more. It's kind of cut into this. There you go. Blender will not let you do this good. So this is like so much better than Blender for this. I'm going to cut away some of that as well. There we go. And then go back to my damp standard. Oops, I meant to go to damp standard. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to remesh it like that. I really want to show that change. Anyway, so let's go back. So we have this muscle right here, which goes underneath. Then you have the other muscle, which can get pretty big, your teres major. This is the spinatus, I think that one's called. And this is your teres major and minor, but the major is the one that goes, and you can really see, and then there's another one in between, that's the teres minor, which you usually never see with skin. So like even if the person's extremely ripped, you usually never see it. But you do see these two muscles. The spinatus, I think is what it's called, and then the teres major. And that goes underneath, and it goes underneath the tricep and attaches to the humerus bone, but so does right here. So does your latissimus dorsi. It also does that. And it goes, and it kind of hugs over your, it's very thin right here, but it goes over the, so you can kind of see right there. See how I made it look like the bone is sticking out right there? Because it kind of comes over the bone. But it kind of comes over the, fuck my brain, man. Getting old. I can't believe I'm not thinking of the word all of a sudden. I just said it a second ago. So that kind of usually comes up. Sometimes you can see it like a separation though between the traps and these tube muscles that are underneath all this. The scapula kind of sticks out right there, and this kind of rolls over it. Sorry about that. I was just like in the background, let my brain think of the word because I couldn't think of it. And we want to make sure that this part of the right here, this part bulks up. So you get this bulky part right there. And that also from this side, it goes up as well. Remember, up in there with the teres major and connects to the humerus bone. I just did all that wrong brush. One thing, I like to just work like this often. I know a lot of people, they'll disappear things. I try not to do that unless I need to. I probably should get in the habit of doing it more though. By disappearing a part of the model so you can see elsewhere easier. But I find this is fine for most of the thing I need to do. I can just turn it around and stuff. Okay, now another really important line is where that trapezius muscle goes like this. You'll have this kind of V coming down like this, and that's because all of this right here is tendon of your latissimus dorsi. And so the latissimus dorsi, the muscle part, is on the other side right here. This is where all the muscle part is. And that's the part that bulks up. And then you can see these two muscles that are underneath, and you can usually see them because this part is just a tendon. It's really thin. And sometimes you can even see the lines. Sorry about that. My dog was barking like crazy. I had to go and tell her to shut her mouth. So this muscle usually kind of goes like this too, at a slight angle. Kind of got that wrong, kind of like that. And then boom. Like I said, sometimes you can see the teres minor right there in between there, but it's very rare. And so what happens here is this muscle is actually usually a little bit bigger than this, the teres major. It's usually a little bit bigger like that, but you have and then it goes up in there like that. I mean, not that big, but what happens is you have this overlaps it, right? The latissimus dorsi overlaps it just a little bit. And so usually cuts, but sometimes you can see another bulk, but it cuts into it, like it like presses into it, so you can kind of see that indent right there I just made. See that? And it almost looks like three muscles sometimes, but anyway. Usually it pushes through enough though where it's not like that. And then you can kind of see like this. And for that kind of detail, like everyone's a little bit different. You need to look at references. Just look at some different people that have nice back muscles that are in a pose that you're going to be doing, or at least close to it. Sorry, my voice is kind of going out of me. Right, and so honestly, you don't need to even go this detailed ever at this stage, because I mean you could, but the thing is you're most likely repose this, right? Like don't just do a boring T pose unless that's what is needed for a game, obviously. But for a final piece, you still want to pose it a little bit at least. Like maybe move this arm forward a little bit up and move that one back, and kind of move the legs and kind of maybe turn his torso. So you got you want to do all that with masking and then using the gidget. This gidget right here, and yeah, so you can do that. He's looking pretty cool. This is kind of a cool looking character. I might actually continue this and turn him into something. I'll probably end up saving him. I need to make sure that this is going more straight. And keep in mind, from the front, the triceps are way bigger than the biceps, so making sure I'm keeping that in mind. Sorry, my wife needed to ask me something. Not sure where I was. I paused it. Let's go like that. I'm trying to push this back a little bit because this muscle goes in front of, and then the deltoid also goes like this in front of. What I'm trying to show is that these muscles actually, this one kind of goes under like that, but these ones go, and the teres minor and this muscle, this infraspinatus, I believe it's called, um, they come over the tricep. I think I'm going to make his elbow a little bit bigger. This muscle usually comes out more like this. I want to show that. Sometimes these muscles look like one muscle. Actually, oftentimes, even when they're really ripped people, these two muscles kind of blend together into one muscle, looks like that. So it's not that much detail there usually. And we're going to see the side there like that. Cool. So I'm thinking it's getting pretty close to the amount of detail that I'm going to want at this stage. And then you want to add the rest of the detail, kind of add that detail a little bit, kind of add his, maybe a little bit of his Adam's apple. Sometimes you can see the little bit of the top part of that collarbone, but usually a buff person like this is covering the collarbone, and then this is coming up to the collarbone like that, and that covers it. But there is that little space right there, kind of shaving that away a little bit. And I think I want to add the collarbone right here just a little bit like that, because you can usually see it a little bit, like right there. And then you have this little dent right like that. I want to kind of pull that back a little bit as well. Actually, I'm going to just eat it away with Alt. So I'll get my clay brush out, the clay tubes, and then kind of eat it like that, smooth it. Let's bring the this muscle here forward like that. This is the sternocleidomastoid. Ears are going to be here, remember? So this is the side of the head like this, and half. The ears are on the back side of the head. So a lot of people make that mistake, and I'm just going to, kind of add a cut right here, and just maybe add a little bit of clay like that, where the ears are going to kind of sit, and then we can pull them out if I get to, I don't know if I'm going to get to that detail though, but if I do, I'll pull them out with the mask. That's the easy way to do it. Right, and then by staying at like 240 or so, it kind of forces you not to add too much detail. Like you only want to push it as far as that level will let you. He's looking cool. He's kind of looking like Colossus a little bit. I think this can be a cool Colossus model. I still think his legs feel a little bit short. I think if it was Colossus, I'd make him a little bit bigger, a little bit longer rather. So I'm going to start coming in here now and pull this forward because I want the knees coming forward like that. And I'm going to kind of smash this down a little bit thinner. And then to make his, I don't want him to have these big like feet like that. It looks weird. So let's start shaping this, and I'm shaping this according to anatomy. So if you're wondering, how does he know what shapes to do? This comes from knowing anatomy. That's how I know. I don't know why that's like that back there. It's weird. That's just how they did their, what's it called? Z-sphere model. Pull this back like this. But yeah, so just by knowing the anatomy, it helps you know all this. So there's this angle that happens right here. So this is going to be lower. The widest part is here, and the widest part is up here, like that. So it has this angle. And that's true whether you're viewing it from the front or from the back. Let's kind of smooth all this out. And then it kind of comes in here. like this. And then this is going to come in more. This will come out more. "55 minutes." So I was hoping, I think if I didn't talk as much and just kind of really hunkered down and got down to business, I think I could have done this where it was all done in an hour, but oh well, it's kind of added junk in here. I like to carve around and make sure I'm keeping the that middle section there. I don't want to lose that right now. So that's looking pretty good. The abs are pretty easy to do, but one thing you need to know is that how the love handles go. That part is harder to learn. So this all kind of comes in tight like this because this is the side of his body. This is where the hip is, and his hips are going to be more straight. And then we'll learn some of the leg anatomy here in a second. Some cool things to look out for, like I call it the M. You should have an M right here like this, and that's going to be caused from the femoris, or not the femoris, from the rectus femoris. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of stuff here. And so right here, this is where the love handles are going to be. That's where the belly button is. It follows right in the middle of the love handles. And to do the love handles, I like to think of it like going straight like this, think about where the rib cage ends here. Boom, like that little point. The love handles are going to fit in here like that. And then I'm going to use this brush here, the clay buildup, I think, to kind of pull these out faster. Think about this line coming from the crotch line, and it comes at an angle like this. Then it comes across sideways like that. And it comes all the way back here, continues going sideways like this. Back here. That's basically how it goes. Go back to my clay tubes to kind of refine this a little bit. So think about this bottom part being thicker like this, and then come straight across, and then come down at an angle. Use the damp standard, kind of pull that out a little bit. That's basically what it's like. And then you can pull this top part, pull the bottom part down, and this top part in like that. Also, we can disappear the arm while we're working on this. So hold down Control Shift, drag over the arm, and then drag outside the arm, but keep the Control and Shift down. Now the arms are out of our way. And we want to kind of slope this down like this. It kind of slopes like this and it slopes forward. That's what gives the love handle their really cool look. It kind of starts back here, kind of radiates like this. And then from this point right here, we're going to radiate down. I'm going to get rid of that point though. Just imagine that point's there. I don't want to have the mark though. We're going to radiate down like this, down like this, down like this, over like this. Keep radiating from that point. Come forward like this. Boom, like that. All the way forward like that. And then finally to the side and down right here. That's what gives that. But muscle is a hard muscle to learn. So that's how I think of it. And that's what works for me. Let's take this brush and shave sideways like this, because this is getting a little bit too square. So we just kind of shave it and smooth it. See how that's looking. Cool. Yeah, so that's his love handles. And then we need to kind of shave right here. This is getting a little bit too much. When I say shave, I mean hold down the Alt key with your tubes brush. Got to just shave that. It's got too bulky. Cool, like that. So you can still see it's a little bit too bulky. You shouldn't be able to see it like that, really. There we go. Okay, now we want to think about how we have our, not serratus, these are the serratus muscles up here, but this is our sartorius muscle. It comes across diagonal like this, comes all the way across. This creates this nice indent. You want to make sure this is indented in. I've already done that, but if you haven't, you want to hold down the Alt key and indent in here. Like that, that should be indented in. This muscle comes all the way down like this, and let's kind of mark where our knees are going to be first so we know where this is going to be. So and right about here. And I just kind of wing all this. If you want to do some measurements, you can. And just know that I think that head's still a little too big for him. I'm gonna make it smaller. But basically, I like doing these like that, and then like a little one like this. That kind of marks the knee. And this comes all the way down to the side of the knee. That's why I wanted the knee there. All right, so that's the sartorius muscle. Kind of blend that in, blend the knees in a little bit. I hold down the shift, and I just kind of tap it. That's how I do that. Like mark those lines right there. Just want to pull that a little bit, pull this in a little bit like this. Cool. And then you have another muscle right here as well. So you have that one, and then it bulges up with this, a bigger bulge right here on the side. And you have the gracilis that comes like that. And that creates that kind of V right in there on the inside of the leg. And this all bulks together. Both of those muscles and some other tendons kind of bulk together as one tendon. Then on the inside, you have this angle like this. On the inside of the knee, you have the vastus medialis, and it comes up and it follows this muscle like that, and it comes across like here, and we can start bulking it up like this. Boom, like that. And it, like I said, it often overlaps. It often overlaps the sartorius muscle. Then you have the rectus femoris that starts right where that muscle goes into, and it comes all the way down to the beginning of the knee right here. Sorry about the dogs. They're like fighting over something. They're like play fighting. I'm going to use this tool here. Sometimes the clay buildup is better for just quickly getting mass bulked up here, like that. And the reason why I'm bulking this up a lot is because this is what creates the M I was talking about. See how it goes up like this? You want that kind of shape like that, the legs. And knowing what things look like from all the different angles, like sculpting is basically drawing from every angle. And so if you get good at sculpting, especially at sculpting from your imagination, then you'll be that much better at drawing because you're basically drawing, you're learning to draw from all the different angles with sculpting. And then so when you start drawing those angles, like actually drawing something that you're like, oh wait, I already know how that looks because I sculpt it from that angle. Like you've already drawn it from that angle in sculpting. Boom, like that. And then we have this big fish muscle, right? It kind of like, think about it on the side here and just kind of comes all the way like this. And it connects here because you have your IT band as well. We're not going to worry about the other little muscle there. Like you also have another little muscle that goes across like this. Your fascia tensor fascia latae. We don't really see that though. Usually, boom, this muscle we definitely see. And this creates this from the hamstrings back here. Goes up like that. And then one's like this and the other one's over here. Like so. I don't know why this brush starts doing this sometimes. Like sometimes it's really like a lot of dots like that. Let's try to, wait, where's it at? Let's go back to geometry. Okay, it's on. I feel like it's not doing nothing though. Oh, there, that definitely did something. Oh, I know why. Because it was masked out. So it's back up here. I think, let me go to the mask. But it's not masked out though. Oh, I think you have to have it. So I have to go like this. Tap out. So you hold down Control and Shift and just tap on the screen, and that brings unhides. And let's see if let's go back to Dynamesh geometry here. Oops, I don't want to divide. Undo that. Dynamesh on, and I guess it worked. Mainly I just want to see if it helps this brush work better because it feels like it's getting weird. See that? I don't like that. I could get rid of the arms again, make this easier. I'm just gonna kind of, this one's more of a flat muscle, so I'm not bulking it up too much. And then you can usually see that right there and that right there. And then there's an angle right here that you gotta pay attention to. And that is this angle right here. You wanna respect that angle, so this muscle starts up higher. Like, yeah, it kind of goes down here. There's like a little bit of bulkiness here from some tendons that connect here from the IT band, but the muscle itself, it bulks up. That's the tendon. The muscle starts bulking up here like this and comes across like that. So you want to make sure it's higher than this muscle, so it has this kind of angle to it. Then I start putting in my knee in here again, like that. Then take the brush now and hold down Alt and shave all this away. Matter of fact, I might just make my brush bigger and like shave right down here like this. I don't know why that's happening. It's really weird. See that? I don't know what makes that, I don't know what causes that to happen. If I use this brush, it doesn't happen. For some reason, the clay tubes, it starts happening after you work for a while. I don't know, it just starts doing that. Then we start rounding this out. I'm gonna curve this, I'm gonna carve into this actually. There we go, carve it right here as well. Show that part of the knee. The knee is quite huge. Just remember that the knee is made up of the lower part of the femur and the upper part of the tibula. So, and then the calf muscle from the back, it's going to go like this. I'm going to make that hamstring a little bit bigger, like that. I'm going to kind of cross over all of that so it's not so detailed. Unless you want your hamstring like that for some reason. So you can usually always see the calf muscle like that. And then from the side view, you can usually see like this part of the calf and then sometimes a little bit of that soleus sticking out there like this. And I'm going to just lightly, and what I can do is I can hold down Alt and kind of get rid of that right there. Bring this back in. And then a little bit of that muscle right there, the soleus. Like so. Sometimes you can see that tendon right there, although that was quite by accident, but sometimes you can see it. All right, now this, I haven't figured out how to do this in ZBrush yet, so I know how to do it in Blender, but in ZBrush I haven't figured it out because I haven't looked it up or anything. But so like what I would do now is if I was in Blender, for example, let me go ahead and, this should be, oops, more like that. Hold down Alt to kind of get rid of that, kind of shape more like that. Kind of goes up and like that. Yeah, there we go. Then you have your two little dimples back here. And we're going to shave away some of this. And add the lumps. And then our buttocks are going to fit into here like that. Anyway, and we're not going to add the butt yet. We'll do that in a second. So in Blender, what I would do is I would I'll make this all a little bit smaller. We can hide one leg and then do one leg and then unhide it and then hit the symmetry X to X, whatever, and then it like pops it over. I don't know how to do that in Blender yet or in ZBrush. I'm sure there's a way to carry the symmetry over. So instead, I'm just going to make it harder on myself for now. And just add this like kind of horseshoe shape in here. And then it's like kind of flat across that way. And it bulks up like that. But that's how it kind of looks. Like that. So from the front view, you can kind of see it coming across like that as well. Cool. I don't think I want them having these like just gigantic out of proportion ankles. So I think I'm going to come down to more human proportions here. Let's kind of pull this back. Let's pull this out into the side. I'm just trying to get this as close as I can to what we kind of want. So that way when I come in here to, oh wow, yeah, we gotta really kind of pull this to get more human proportions. But he has 2 fingers, so maybe I can still make him like a cross between Hulk and some alien or something, like one of the Mass Effect aliens. One thing I noticed is that this muscle here now, I don't know how that happened, but for some reason it's not bulking up to the side enough here. Should be more like that. Cool. Yeah, see, this is all wrong. This should be straight like this, up like that. So we should have this side, and then we should have a rectus femoris coming more like this. There we go. Add that angle. Cool, we're getting close to being done. In fact, I could call it done there. Well, except for the butt. We got to add the butt for sure. And then from here, it's really just coming in and looking at stuff and going, okay, what doesn't look right? And to know what doesn't look right, you have to know anatomy. There's just no getting around it. You have to learn anatomy. Because learning anatomy helps you understand all the shapes and like why they're there. So he's definitely kind of short, like he has short legs. So I'm thinking, let's give him a smaller head before we move on to the feet real quick and the butt. So the head, we can go with the mask. And notice right now it's on the pin. So we have to go select the mask. I might drop this down. I'm going to show how to do that real fast. So watch this. Double click over here, right on this little thing. Boom, like that. Click on brush. Click this little icon right there. Pops the brushes over here. Let's then select our other mask tools. So we have the mask, where is it at? Mask lasso. Select that, bam. And then that will be over here now. Well, actually it won't. Okay, so how do I do that then? Although there it is, cool, it is there still. I'm gonna grab this, but to do that, we're gonna go over here to preferences and then enable this under config, boom, enable customization. And then we're gonna hold down Control and Shift and drag this, oh no, wrong. Oh man, I don't know what just happened there. I hit the wrong thing. Not Control and Shift, but rather Control and Alt. And then you can drag this over here, pow, like that. Now we have that there. And I might as well do the pin one too, just so it's there. So let's go to mask pin, because those are the 2 main ones I use. And I like to have them there so I can just click on them. Where's it at? Mask pin, where are you at? There's so many brushes, man. That's one thing. The standard is like really easy to find all the brushes. Okay, what if I just like come up, click up here? Hold on a second. Nope, I have to do it from here anyway though, so I can't do it from the library. It's so much easier to find that way, but you probably already know where it's at and you're like, dude, why are you still looking for the mask? I might have to cut this out. What the fuck? I don't see it. Whatever, I'll do it later. But then you can add that there the same way. And then you want to come up here and make sure you go to undo that, or not undo it, but turn it off. And then save UI. I can just save config. Or if you want to save the whole UI, you can save it like that. And just save under whatever name you want. And then click OK. And then click OK here. It popped up on my other screen, that's why you didn't see it. Okay, so now we can select the head. So let's go from front view here. Hold down the control key and let's go like, oh wait, I'm not on the right tool. Select this tool. Wait, is that not the right tool? The knife. Oh, that's the knife. That's not the right, it's not even the right tool. So here's the mask pin. So I can drop that down there now. Oh, cool. Anyway, I'm gonna re-enable this again. Let's drop this down here like that. So that's the mask pin, which is here. And the mask Lasco, that's what I wanted. Okay, so mask pin, oh, mask pin here, mask Lasco here. Okay, cool. Now I can grab the mask lasso after I click OK. Control Alt, hold down Control and Alt, drag this over here with the mouse or with your pin, and then let go of the Control Alt. And then now I can go up here and I can just undo this for now. Cool, okay, so now I can select this tool and let's do it for real this time. Boom. Looking pretty good. I can also hold down Control Alt if I want to like get rid of any of this, like that. Hit our W key, hold down the Alt key and click up here. This middle section right here, we can grab that. Oh, wrong way. Invert the mask first. Masking, inverse, and let's kind of turn it down like that. Pull it down. By giving him a slightly smaller head, we are actually going to make him look that much more massive. So, like, see that? That slightly smaller head, now he looks massive. That's the trick. If you have a big head on a massive body, he just looks like some weird ogre or something. Clear the mask, go back to our brushes. Oh yeah, we're looking good now. Let's go and add the butt to him real fast at 1:16. I wanted to be, not a minute, an hour, I wanted to be done at an hour, but whatever, it is what it is. The butt extends down like this. I'm gonna just add some bulk here first. Just kind of bulk it up a little bit like that, and then go to our clay. Okay, and remember, the butt kind of comes up like this, and it kind of wraps around like a C shape like this. So we'll kind of go, I like doing this side. Doesn't really matter, it's mirrored, so it's gonna mirror it over. Really add that muscle there, boom, like that. All right, look at that big ass fucking muscle butt. Cool. Really trying to bring all that out down there as well. Comes all the way over here to the side, and then remember you have your gluteus medius as well, but it's much smaller, but mainly we just want this. We want this gluteus maximus. That's our main muscle right here. It comes all the way over there. It's a big C. It's like half of a donut or something, and this is the center of the donut. Right, like that. Boom. And once you have the muscle part there, then you can, start going, okay, well, let's kind of come across like this maybe, and then come up into the model like that, kind of smooth out everything except for that top part. Take the move tool, kind of move this together now, like that. And then add some more clay strips right here. Now we're going to add fat. So now we're just adding a little bit of fat tissue to kind of smooth all this out, kind of give them a nice, more like bubble butt. Boom, just like that. I want to smooth some of that out. And that's how you do a butt. It's actually pretty easy to sculpt a butt once you know how to do it. I know I make it look a lot easier than it probably is, but I've had a lot of practice. But anyway, you'll get good at it, trust me. It's not that hard. He's starting to look dope. We can add nipples on him if we wanted to, but there's no need to do that right now. Might actually, I don't know if I should save that for a different video, but I could like show you how to do a basic head, at least how to start the head to be a basic head. Let's go down here to the ankles. I wanted to show this really fast. So remember, the widest part is on this side and then up here. So it has this angle. That same angle follows up here with these muscles. And usually this is up higher like that. So let's kind of fix that. There we go. Sometimes you can see the tendon that comes right here, right down to the knee like that. And you can kind of see that tendon right there. But anyway, what I wanted to show was how this foot kind of works. So it kind of comes like this over. We kind of build it up like that. So it's kind of horseshoe right here. So it's kind of V shape, upside down V shape like this. That's how you build it right into the foot. And then this V comes all the way out to the big toe like that. Boom, like that. And then we can take our move tool, kind of move it bigger and wider here, back there, like that. Cool. Let's kind of pull this down. I want to build up all this right here for a second, like this. And then we have our ankle, but we're not going to worry about that yet. I need to get rid of that piece. And right here, that's left over from the, I don't know why the gate, that like the weird creature or whatever we started from. It obviously wasn't human because he had a weird ass foot. So like that, we're going to build up the side here. Build up this side right here like this. And fill that in a little bit. Cool. Now, of course, I mean, you just have to trust me that I'm doing this from imagination. You can just think I'm not telling the truth, but that's up to you to believe or not. But I can assure you that I'm looking at nothing. I don't think I can work this fast if I was looking at something anyway. You want to go like that, and then that kind of rounds out down here. So it kind of goes like into the heel, Achilles tendon, and then it's kind of scrape away a little bit on each side, like that. And we'll add the ankles in a second. I need to kind of pull this clay like that. This is so much easier if we have only one leg visible, but I don't know how to do that trick yet, so I need to figure out how to do that in this program. Once I know how to do that in this program, it'll make it much easier. I want to kind of flatten this with our planer. Maybe I'll even try planer instead of polish. Does that flatten it? No, that's not. I think it's polish. That's supposed to flatten it. And then, I don't know, you could probably get your damp standard, hold the Alt key and kind of pull out a horseshoe shape here, and then polish again, like that. I don't know why it's not pushing that in. This brush isn't working out it's supposed to, I don't think. There it goes, it's starting to work a little bit. Maybe make it bigger. There we go. Flatten this as well. Cool, and then we can just round it off, you know. Take this, probably just smooth it actually. There we go. Cool. And then this side is going to be more like that. And then this is where the pad of your foot is, like this. That kind of comes in that way like that. And here, kind of fill this in some more. And then let's go ahead and bring this out a little bit more here because we need toes. Make this smaller actually. Try to just bring our big toe out there and then these toes. Kind of pull this up, this down. Has this kind of angle like this, at least it should. Let's go ahead and remesh this. Just hold down Control, draw a square outside. As long as it's selected over there, it'll work. There's usually a little bit of a bone right here like this and comes like that. Another one right here. That's as detailed as I'm going to go for this. I can maybe teach feet. If you want a foot tutorial, 3D foot tutorial, maybe I'll do a quick sculpting of a foot and hand. I don't feel like doing the hand and feet right now. But what I will do really fast is just the basic way to start a head. So make your brush a little bit smaller. And actually, we're going to use the clay buildup. It's a little bit easier. Make it a little bit smaller. Start with this middle line by holding down Alt and just kind of carve in like that, just a little bit. And then we're going to start carving all of this right here. Shave it all the way down to the center. We want this to be a nice flat plane. Maybe even take your polish brush like that. Kind of flatten this side out. That's too much. We'll just go like that. I'm going to kind of add some clay back here. Kind of made it too. There we go. And then we're going to add this kind of forehead right here. So we're going to kind of add some clay right here. I'm going to go back to this clay tubes brush. And then I'm going to take a little bit more away right here. And then I'm going to take some of the side here like this. And then we need to start adding this kind of like that, and then cut away right here like this. And what that does, that starts giving us our cheekbone. Dig in a little bit more for the eye. I'm going to go to this tool here. I can dig in a lot faster. Like that. Round out this up here with the rounded out tool. Then I need to add a little bit of clay here, like this. Give them a kind of mouth like that. Then we need to kind of come all the way in like this, kind of curve in like that. There we go. Use the move tool, kind of pull this out a little bit. Okay, now to get the nose, I like to just cut across right here about where that cheek line is. I probably should go a little smaller than that. Like this. Smooth it out. Not the nose, we're smoothing out the mouthpiece. Make that clear. And then I need to move this in just a little bit like that. And so basically kind of make it like a skull. And then we're going to do a couple clay strips right here like that. Use our move tool now. Make it smaller so we can just try to move the nose, pull that back a little bit. Like that. We want it to be like a triangle. Actually, I don't want to smooth it. I want to leave it like that. You can use a standard brush to dig a hole in it for the nostrils, but how you normally do it, you would kind of just start digging. Oh wait, start digging. I would use probably the standard brush, but just like that. That's all you want, just something basic. I'm just gonna remesh instead of smoothing it. Kind of come out. I can't get too detailed like this. You just want to get the face to this level. Use the move tool again, kind of move the mouth out a little bit like that. You want a nice round mound where it's round from all angles like that. Use the damp standard underneath here. This is where the chin is. And then we're going to hold down, or not hold down, just use our damp standard to make a line right here. Kind of dig into the sides over here as well. You want to dig in quite a ways, and then use our clay brush again, make it a little bit smaller, and start digging in right here like this. Like that. Dig into the side. Dig in underneath the bottom lip, because the bottom lip is smaller than the top lip. Dig in all the way underneath like that. Cool. Then we got to move that bottom lip back. Now, one way we can do this is view it from the front view. Take our this tool here. I think I already have it selected. Just hold down Control and just select this top lip like that. Boom. And then you can move this bottom lip in with the move tool. Like that. And I'm also going to slightly shave right here at an angle like that. Then we're going to kind of bulk up this just a little bit. Use a damp standard, hold on Alt and kind of pull right there so we have that nice strong part where the lip is going to be. There we go, just leave it like that. Then I like to make this little shape right here. We kind of draw the chin in like that. This should be an angle right here. Like that. I'm going to slightly knock that away. It's kind of like not detailed enough. You really can't do much more from here. Oops, I meant to make this smaller. Look at it from this view. The bottom lip shouldn't stick out as much as the top lip. The top lip should stick out more than the bottom lip. Just gonna lightly touch right here to soften it out a little bit. We need a little bit more meat on the under part of the lip here like that, and then come over like here like this. I think I'll wait till I get more detail before I add any more detail. But we can invert the mask now. Hit inverse right here. And now we can pull this top lip out. And we can also invert the nose too if you wanted to, or mask the nose off, but I think I can get the lip. Because you want the nose to come out a little bit anyway. We want it to be like an angle, and the front lip should stick out a little bit more. Then it should kind of go at an angle like that. Turn the mask off. And that right there is the beginning of the face. Like if you can get that part down, his nose is really small. But you know what? That kind of fits if I wanted him to be the Hulk. But let's pull this down some. And this right here should all kind of go back like that at an angle. This will probably pull back more and the cheek will come back a little bit more. But that right there is the base. Make the cheek a little bit higher and then maybe make a little bit of a cheek right here like this. And then kind of sunken, make this a little bigger, kind of sunk this in a little bit like that. Just kind of make sure our forehead is coming back enough. You're basically you're kind of making a skull. You might just bring the jaw out a little bit like that. Then you would eventually add more face right here and stuff, to block it out. And then we want to bring this in a little bit like that. And I like to maybe come back here a little bit to make sure that underside is there. And dig in right here just to make sure we have our jawline. There we go. Have our jaw sticking out like that. Then we can come back in with this muscle. And remember, our ear from the side view is going to come right about here to this under part of the nose. So our ear is going to fit in like right about there. And then we can go ahead and mask out our ear. We have mirror on, so now I can use the mask. Oh, that's the knife. That's not what I want. Let's see here. I had mask pin up here somewhere. It's a mask knife. Oh, I thought I did that. Anyway, I didn't. I don't think I saved all this, did I? Oh, yeah, I did. Enable customization. I need the mask pin, which is here. Oh, man, where did it go? Okay, well, whatever. 30 minutes over time. But we did a lot and we covered a lot of stuff. So hopefully you learned a lot. I do want to pull this out, but I don't want to go and, oh, it is working. Okay, never mind. I thought that said mask knife, but so you just kind of go like that and it's going to mask over and then you just invert it and then you grab your move tool or you can grab the snake tool and you just want to pull it out sideways like this a little bit. Pull it in, out, like that. Then we want to pull it back. And then we can go ahead and clear the mask, remesh, damp standard, kind of pull it like this, cut in up here. This is something that works so much better in this program than it does in Blender, by the way. Cut all the way back here as well. Move tool, oops. And then I like to like shave out like this after you do that. Just kind of shave around it and then slightly blur around it. I'm gonna try to cut in here, and I'm gonna remesh that. I'm gonna damp standard in again like that. Cool. So it's gonna kind of blend in right here, and it's only gonna cut out from under here and at the top, and then I might pull that a little bit. And we're gonna kind of come in this way. Cool. It's gonna be kind of hard to show how to do an ear with this low of res, honestly. So I might just leave it like this and cut out a little bit. You know what I might do? I'm gonna save this and then I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this so I have this saved, and I'm not gonna save after I show you this ear really fast as a bonus, I guess. We'll do a bonus. My Z projects. I'm gonna save this as Hulk 2 or something. Or maybe Hellboy. I don't know what to call him. Cautious. I'm not sure who he's going to be. Yes, like I have to make him with shorter legs maybe for Hellboy. I'm just going to call it Hellboy for now. Okay, so I'm going to divide this up so I can show you. Let's go to geometry. I'm going to divide this a couple times. Use this brush, make it smaller. So the first thing is we're going to have this shape right here, a little bit bigger, not that big, and like that. Okay, so it's going to come like this, like a number 9, and it comes all the way down like that. Boom. So you imagine that like there, number 9. Damp standard, kind of pull in here. Really try to carve up in a way like that. There we go. And then we're going to start carving this away inside here like this. Okay. So you get that number 9. Kind of like, ooh, that's not what I meant to do. Like that. And then you have this little jigger-jobber. Kind of goes like that. And then we need to dig a hole in. I'm just going to use the clay for now. Hold down Alt and just kind of dig a hole in here. Kind of come up this way like that. I think that's good enough. Then you have this Y, which kind of goes like this and like that. So you have a Y inside of the 9, just like that. And if you have, and you have the earlobe right here, it kind of connects to the head. Not everyone has an earlobe that, is separated, so keep that in mind. So when I remeshed it, I could have turned on back faces, the back face mask for that. So it's a little bit different. In Blender, you have to turn on, what's it called? Front faces only. But on this program, you turn on the back face masking. So you go here, or was it under brush? I already had brush on there. It's under like advanced or something. Where was that at again? Auto masking? Nope, that's not where it was. I don't think. Maybe it was under draw. Anyways, somewhere you can look it up, but you have to turn on the mask. It's like a back face mask. Yeah, I don't remember where it's at right now. Oh well, anyway, you can turn that on and it basically works the same way. I'm gonna use my planer brush right here. I don't like how that is working. I want to make that flat. There we go. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the basic idea of the ear. That's what you want to get to. That's what you want to get to, at least as far as memorizing. And the back of the ears like that. It's a damn standard and kind of pull it across. Cool. And there you have it. That is where you should be when working from imagination. Now, that doesn't look right. Let's kind of fix this real quick. I'm gonna go back to sub 1. Oops. There you go. That one's gonna be more like that. Won't be able to see it as much. All right, cool. So we could probably fix our butt a little bit as well. It's a little bit flat, so we can always add more. Look at it from different angles and kind of fix it like that. And then also this arms here, I didn't realize that happened. That happened when we remeshed at some point. So I'm gonna kind of just pull that in with the damn standard. Pull around the arm like that, kind of drawing around the shape of the arm. Disconnecting the arm from everything else. Kind of smooth that out a little bit. Cool, so there we have it. And the back ankles aren't right either. So we can fix that. From this angle, they're definitely not right. I can pull that up. Oh, I forgot to add the ankles. Totally forgot to do that. So let's go and add the ankles really quick. And then we'll be done. So remember I said that from this angle, you have the widest part on this side, the height like that, so it's boom. Well, that angle is going to be opposite for the ankles. So this angle here and that angle, so you have the angle goes like this and like that. Oops. Like that and like that. See that? Because this muscle's down here and this muscle's up here like that. So you have that angle. And then you have the angle widest part angle right here. This is going to be the opposite way. So this ankle's going to be lower like that, and then go up higher, and this ankle's going to be up higher like that. I kind of want to, there we go. Oops, wrong thing. I have to cut into it like that. Cool, and pull this like that. Still want to bring this up. Oh man, it's really bugging me. Let's kind of bring this back and out. And then let's grab this tool again, make it big, flatten out a little bit like that. Okay, cool. Wouldn't technically be that flat, but I don't feel like messing with it anymore. So he's really cool. And then what I could do is I can just delete higher because I want to resave them again. And I can redo the ears later. And boom. All right, so it ended up taking me 1:45, so a lot longer than I wanted to go. I mean, I could have definitely done just the body an hour. Like I had pretty much that done in an hour. I just would have to ignore the head and the feet. I ignored the hands altogether, as that would add more. I'd probably be at 2 hours if I did the hands. So we're gonna call it good there. If you guys want to see like just me sculpting in real time, or if you want me, more speeded up one, then let me know. I can do the hands and maybe do the head more to completion or something. Or just do hands, to just sculpt hands or feet. Like, so anyway, what do you want to see sculpted? And what do you want to see a character? Like, what do you want to see sculpted? Let me know. And would you prefer it in real time, or which takes a lot longer to do, obviously, or sped up, and I just kind of give commentary over it. I'll show you one of those soon, so you'll be able to decide what you prefer. Hey, if you've watched this far, you are a legend, because that means you really want to learn. And if you really want to learn that bad, you might as well just go buy my course. It's on sale all the time. So go to masterpaintingnow.com and check out my Anatomy 2.0 course. That's the one you're going to want to take. Or if you want the real-time one, which is like 60 hours long, you could try that one. But honestly, they both have the same information. The newer one has more modern, up-to-date information and better drawings. But also, if you're watching this more in the future, then I have the Anatomy 3D. So it's going to be the full anatomy course in 3D. And so, yeah, you can get that. All right. Thanks for watching.